Boy, oh boy. Wow, all I gotta say is about that fight. I just got him finishing Canelo Alvarez versus Joselito Lopez. I don't know what I can say about Canelo that hasn't already been said, man. This guy is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He's like a walking bear trap. I know a lot of people who thought of this about the fight just going into it, that, Joselito, oh, he doesn't stand a chance. He's a little guy. That's true. But for a little guy, he has a big heart. He threw everything he possibly could at Canelo in order to keep him off of him long enough, for him to land, in hopes of landing that one shot. Even in the post-fight interview he had with Jim Gray, he said Joselito said he was looking for that one shot. And I thought he was going to get it. I mean, it wasn't going to be like a one-shot knockout punch, but I honestly thought he was going to land a shot that was going to drastically change the fight into his favor. Because the way the fight was going, Canelo was, definitely, he was putting on the pressure, throwing just insane combinations. I mean, he would go from the top to the bottom to the top, and just, they were just like Paulie said it best. Sharp punches. I was sitting in on the couch, I was in disbelief of just how awesome Canelo looked. Yeah, it was against a smaller opponent, but I honestly don't think that the opponent would have mattered much in this case. Like, if it was Victor Ortiz in Joselito's spot, or Paul Williams in Joselito's spot, the outcome would have been the same. It wouldn't have mattered. Victor Ortiz, his skill set, is bigger, excuse me, and more expansive than Joselito Lopez. I mean, he's not as lousy throwing punches, not as lazy. He has good ring movement. He would have put the weight on better for sure, because Joselito was very gummy around the midsection. And that was one thing I was worried about with Joselito, is how well he would put the weight on. He looked okay, but he looked a lot like, what's his face? The big Mexican heavyweight. I forgot his fucking name. But with the big nose. When he looked really, really thick at heavyweight, but then when he started to lose weight, you can really see where the weight started to like hang off in the midsection. Stuff like that. But Joselito didn't look, he looked okay, but he didn't look that good. Not that it would have mattered anyway, because Canelo would have just went through him like a freaking buzzsaw. As I was sitting there watching the post-fight with Jim Gray, and I couldn't help but Canelo bring up Floyd Mayweather Jr., I honestly don't think that this fight, the fight would be lucrative. Yes, it would make tons of money in both the United States and Mexico. But I don't really think it's a smart fight for Mayweather. Not at this point in his career. I mean, I don't know if he's 35, about to turn 36, or 36, about to turn 37. I honestly don't think this would be, it's not a smart fight for him at all. Because just seeing how Cotto could land on Mayweather at will and bloody his nose and pretty much make Mayweather fight every minute or every second of every round makes me wonder how well Mayweather could possibly weather Canelo Alvarez. I hate to say that if Canelo and Mayweather fought, that Canelo could be the first man to give Mayweather a loss. Mainly because that Canelo is like the Incredible Hulk. You know how the more damage that's inflicted on the Hulk, the bigger and stronger and more insane he gets. The more Joselito landed on Canelo, it only aggravated him and made him punch harder. It's like Canelo it's like something in Canelo, like he reached down deep and just said, you know what, I'm done entertaining the crowd. I'm just going to go in here and just take this fool out. And he took him out. I mean, I think it was the fourth round. when he threw that crazy set and just completely blew Joselito out and just ended with a right hand to the head that dropped him to the canvas. Wow. That's all I could say. I was just, like I said, I was just in utter disbelief. But back to Mayweather. If there's no fight out there for Pacquiao, I believe that Mayweather should go ahead and make this fight with Canelo, because he could possibly make, if not, he wouldn't make as much money with Canelo, but he would make more than he would usually get. I can easily say he could make upwards of 35 to 40 million fighting Canelo, because the money's there, the fans are there. It's a fight people want to see. I personally would want to see it. I mean, I'd be nervous as hell that day, because I'm a Mayweather fan for life, but I don't want to see Mayweather get completely and utterly dominated and then thrown out the back door like a lot of fans did. The HBO commentators and then what they did to Roy Jones after he got knocked out by Tarver. Because a guy like Mayweather only comes around once in a lifetime. Same thing with Roy Jones. Guys like Roy Jones, they're not a dime a dozen. They're diamonds in the rough. Despite what goes on in their careers, a lot of fans don't treat them with the respect that they need to be treated with. It's a terrible thing right now in boxing with a lot of these fans. They'll treat you one way one day, then the next day they're ready to throw you out the back door. Throwing scraps at you, throwing bullshit at you, pretty much telling you to your face that you have no more future in the sport of boxing. And I guess that's what Mayweather is trying to prevent. And if he wants to prevent that, it's best to be, in tip-top shape, which is he's always been in tip-top shape, even getting out of jail. He said the only thing he did was push-ups. He was doing like 400, 500, 600, 700 push-ups a day in prison, and he came out looking just straight cut, he was fiended out. It was crazy. Dude looks like it was a straight fiend going hard in his little jail cell like that, I guess. Well, that's the story. I'm sure everyone else's opinion is different. I couldn't even begin to fathom, a Canelo Mayweather fight. If they announced that fight, I would be excited, because obviously I'd be there to watch it. It's just, I just don't see the fight going in Mayweather's favor. After witnessing what I saw in the ring, I don't know. Canelo is a monster. He's absolutely a monster. I hope that from here on out that his handlers handle him and give him good fights, because the man he has a chance to dethrone Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya in terms of fan base, monetary gain in boxing. Well, I wouldn't say boxing skill, but I would say that he outclasses Oscar De La Hoya in boxing talent, skills, just everything in general. He has a lot going for him. His fans love him. Everything. The man, he's a stud, basically. He's a superstar in Mexico, and pretty soon he'll be a superstar in America too, if he's not one already. People know who Canelo Alvarez is. They will always know who Canelo Alvarez is. The more he wins. Now, outside of Mayweather, possible opponents easily could be, Sergio Martinez, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Miguel Cotto, Austin Trout, maybe Andre Ward. There's also that Cleverly. I'm sure a lot of guys from 168, 160, and 154. I'm sure that's a feeding frenzy in there. It just all depends on the fighter and whether or not they can drop the weight to 160 or 160 from 154. I mean, I'm sure Canelo came in at 164 pounds tonight anyway. Roughly. And I believe if he wanted to fight at middleweight, he could. He'd make damn good fights at 160. He definitely has the body for it. He has the power for it, without a doubt. Because I give him the chance. I'm sure that dude can knock a hole through a cinder block wall if he wanted to. Well, I guess. Well, I'm sure I'll make another video. Depending on the outcome of the Martinez versus Chavez Jr. fight. Then I'll go into a little bit more about Canelo and possibly matching him up against one of those guys. But I'm gonna end this video here. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.